With global economic strife, environmental waste and disasters, crime and uncertainty on the rise. Are there any solutions? We may have found one. Green jobs, Bay Area and beyond. In our exploration of green jobs, we felt that we needed to first ask the question, exactly, what is a green job?
Really, that's a funny one.
I imagine Obama was speaking about more like solar panels, I guess like recycled water.
Anything that's going to help preserve our natural resources.
I work for the railroad and we use solar panels at work to charge batteries. And we use the batteries at night to run our equipment.
I guess a green job could be something involved with protecting the environment and in trying to improve present situation.
You know, we gather at a challenging time for our country. We face an economic crisis unlike any we've known in a generation. We've lost 4.4 million jobs since this recession began. We need some inventiveness. Your country needs you to create new jobs and lead new industries. But we've seen the consequences of this failure to take responsibility, this failure to seize the moment. We can allow climate change to wreak unnatural havoc, or we can create jobs preventing its worst effects. We can hand over the jobs of the 21st century to our competitors, or we can create those jobs right here in America.
I'm Garrett Fitzgerald. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Oakland. Where we are here in the Green Building Resource Center, or the GBRC, this is essentially a little nook right next to the planning and permitting counters within the City of Oakland. So anytime someone wants to build a new building in Oakland, they can just pop over here to the Green Building Resource Center, where we provide all sorts of ideas on how to green your building. Making a building a truly green building is certainly easiest when you're doing this at the outset. Where am I going to put the building? How am I going to orient it? Can I orient it toward the sun? What kinds of insulation will we use in the walls? Where will I put the windows to bring daylight into the building? It's amazing in a typical building as we're constructing it, how much stuff we throw out. And an awful lot of these materials, whether it's wood, concrete, steel, etc., is often carted off to the landfill because folks think that's the easiest thing to do. In reality, it's not all that hard to capture an awful lot of that waste material, send it to recycling, etc. Separately from that, when you have an existing home, an existing building, there's a lot that you can do to make your existing facilities more energy efficient as well. Solar is a great technology. It's probably not the very first thing you should do. Focusing first from a cost perspective on things you can do that reduce the need for using energy in the building. So let's use efficient lighting, let's maximize daylighting within the building, these kinds of things. If I'm owning a home and I think I'm going to be there for a while, it really makes sense to think about those opportunities and to make some investments. The City of Oakland actually, several years ago, adopted a civic green building ordinance. So all of the buildings that we build, the major buildings that we build, have to be green buildings. The City Council is contemplating adopting a policy that would require green buildings for private development as well. A lot of the newspaper articles that you see about green jobs are about solar, are about wind power. We think it makes sense to take a more expansive view of what's a green job. Installing solar panels, absolutely a green job. Installing wind turbines, absolutely a green job. But all of those folks that it took to make the solar panel, that it took to make the wind turbines, those are green jobs too. We've got to deal with this problem with climate change. What's our responsibility and what's the goal that we're going to set for reducing greenhouse gas emissions locally? We do this here locally. All these other cities around the country are doing it locally. It all adds up. We're not going to assume that state and federal policy is going to get us out of this climate problem. We're going to adopt some policy here and take a lot of action here locally because, frankly, the sources of greenhouse gas emissions are local everywhere. It's people driving cars, and that happens in our community. It's energy we use in our buildings, and that happens in our community.
Now that we have a definition of what a green job is, we felt that it was important to hear directly from an organization that has been on the front line of developing green job opportunities for people. That organization is the Ella Baker Center.
We started in response to police brutality and misconduct here in Oakland, moved into the area of prison reform, particularly around the California Youth Authority, now known as DJJ. Moved into violence prevention work here on the streets with a focus on youth, and now are expanding and growing our Green Collar Jobs campaign. We define green collar jobs as jobs that are quality, meaning that they provide a living wage, there's room for upward mobility, career advancement, but they're also entry-level positions, so for people who are, say, coming out of prison or people who haven't had a job in the past, they have an entry point into the green economy. We know that not one organization, not one sector can create climate justice, environmental justice, green jobs on their own. So we work with labor, we work with green businesses, environmental organizations, and community-based organizations together in partnership to create these solutions. I think the economic downturn that the country has witnessed has really opened people's eyes to not only the economic crisis but also the environmental crisis. When young adults are trained in industries such as solar installation, energy efficiency, and green construction, that's an incentive for businesses to locate at the Bay Area, which then creates more jobs. The work that's done by these kind of sectors actually saves residents and businesses money. So doing energy efficiency retrofits, saves on your energy bill. Solar installation, same thing. Green construction, the long-term savings are significant. I'm really excited about the green jobs movement, about the green economy. At the same time, I know that solar panels aren't going to save the world and aren't going to save anybody's lives. What is going to save the world is how we interact with one another, how we value one another, the kind of opportunities that are available to all citizens.
We wanted to go a little bit deeper on the inside to see the inner workings of a solar panel training course. The acronym that is used for this class is PV, which is short for photovoltaics. This class is a first of its kind in an accredited institution in the U.S. The school is Laney College, which is located in Oakland, California.
My name is Steve Weldon. I'm an instructor at Laney College. The motivation for this class came about last fall when public awareness, high price of gas, the green movement took over. I had looked into solar 20 years in the past. When it first came out, I spent a lot of time going to seminars and classes. At the time I said, I don't think it's going to sell. Power was still very cheap. After the seminar I went to last August, I said, hey, I think its time has come. And probably from the little demonstration I showed you, I think it was impressive, showing you how much of a fireball we can get out of 4 little panels. The wattage we produced out there was sufficient to power up a good part of your house. Certainly the lighting and all the smaller convenience outlets, what you saw there would handle that. The state is going to give you so much money back. The federal government gives you a direct tax write-off. That's a big one. So the homeowner right now is going to pay somewhere around 50% of the real cost. It's not attached to anything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's turn this thing a little bit so we're more perpendicular to the sun. Swing
a lot of people just don't have access to this
kind of education, even though it's constantly in the news and it's really popular. Everybody talks about green jobs. It's really hard to get into. There really are not that many programs, or if they are, they cost hundreds of dollars, or they're geared towards people with engineering degrees or who have been electricians for many years.
This is still just the beginning. Every day things are changing for the better. We were talking today about possibly putting the photovoltaic properties into paints on a house. Everything could be PV on the outside of a building. For everything that's touched by the sun could harvest the energy.
I really think it's going to have a strong future in our economy, and I think a lot of people really come around to seeing that this is something that we need to address. This is the start, and this is a great way to get some training and get a foot in the door.
Once the economy starts to turn around and consumer confidence comes back in the marketplace, I think that there's going to be a really big movement. A lot of people are going to want this done. A lot of people are going to be needed to do the work. Here you could learn to be an installer. You could learn to be a designer. We teach design, estimate, site survey, everything it takes to put the whole thing together. I've been telling people, I said, you watch, because Laney is so far ahead of the curve on setting up this class and running people through here and getting an education. I said, Obama's going to come here to this school. He's going to come here to see one of the biggest programs on the West Coast. There's nobody else teaching this stuff.
Now that we have established that there are organizations and institutions teaching these vital green skills, let's visit Habitat for Humanity, who has been helping people with housing while making green building a priority.
We are building 28 homes right now. We just completed our annual build-a-thon. Our goal was to frame 20 homes out of the 28 in 4 days. The largest day that we had was Saturday, which was our first of the 4 days, and usually the most chaotic is the first day, and we had 350 people. It actually went very smoothly. There was a lot of planning and a ton of involvement with all of our staff. We have many different departments who are involved at different levels. Our project management integrates green building into our plans. Our construction management obviously are the ones who put all of the features in place and the systems. We're always looking into different opportunities to go with greener products, as well as determining what is an actual green product. There's a lot of greenwashing, as they call it, out there. Products, vinyl companies saying that their vinyl is green because it never breaks down. But the manufacturing process and the health hazard, because if your house catches on fire, it melts and releases this toxic fume. Vinyl's not at all a green product. Durability is a big factor, as well as recycled content, as well as really looking at the whole product's life cycle. So how is it extracted? How is it processed? What kind of pollution is associated in the processing, manufacturing, transporting of that product?
We like to give back to the community and support Oakland, as well as support environmentally friendly activities. These houses are made with green materials, using green practices and things like that, so it's a no-brainer for us. People are going to be living in these houses, are working beside us, so there's a lot of ownership that they bring to the party and stuff, so it's a great program.
This project is the Eads Avenue Homes. It's going to be a 54-home development. 26 homes are actually already built and occupied, and we're right now working on the second half with 28 homes. It will be, I believe it's the largest habitat development in North California, so it's a pretty ambitious project for us. Here, this is just safe, quality housing that, in 10 years, what we're doing today is going to be standard practice for building industry. It's a great way for people to learn construction skills. Depending on the project, we've done virtually everything, so framing and plumbing and electrical and drywall and roofing. There's the whole 9 yards. Our affiliate has done it before. Solar panels are obviously the flashiest part of the houses. Those are all photovoltaics, and so those provide up to 80% of the power for families for a given month. We do use instantaneous water heaters, and we try and site those water heaters near to the fixtures, so you're not wasting water waiting for cold water to run out of your shower before it gets warm. All the lumber, we use what's called optimum value engineering, which is basically a way of designing your buildings so you're using less lumber inside, and you're also using more engineered lumber. Not only the house themselves are sustainable, but our building process is sustainable. Part of the point of our affiliate is to get over this myth that affordable housing can't be sustainable housing. That's ridiculous. There's no reason why people who are moving into affordable housing shouldn't have the same quality, safe, healthy environment that anybody moving into any kind of market rate housing would have.
We have donors who contribute everything in the store, corporations who donate to us on a regular basis, and we have people who are doing deconstruction, so they're taking everything out of their home, so we kind of get everything that's usable. Instead of it going to the landfill, we divert that way to help the green process. Things come and go so quickly here. We can put a fridge on the floor and 20 minutes later it's sold. Everything in the store is 50 to 75% off of what you would pay in a regular retail store. I know our numbers from last year that we saved over 100,000 tons from going into the dump. And it's increased a little bit every year. We're doing really well with the poor economy because people can't afford to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, so they're able to come here, and then they're able to save things from going into the landfill or buy that double paned window when they have the single paned window and upgrade their house and make effective choices to cut down on their energy costs for heating or cooling and that kind of stuff.
In our research, we found that the Bay Area is leading the nation in green building and training. Green building can not only help to sustain our planet, but it could also play a critical role in improving our economy by creating good-paying jobs. For every historical down cycle that we have faced in this country, there has always been a new industry or technology that has helped us reinvent ourselves. This time, it will be green jobs.
God made some really pretty landscape to look at in this country. You know, it'd be nice to keep as much of it as we could and keep it pristine and, you know, for everybody else to enjoy it for years down the road, long after we're gone.
If you have children or plan on having children, how do you see your child growing up in 5, 10, or 15 years?
Boy, that's scary. I would imagine our world being very electronic and virtual. I hope that the efforts that we make to preserve, you know, natural habitat will exist when I have kids. But it's a scary thought because you don't know, you know. There's a chance that there'll be much less.
Are you sure you're ready for this, Mark?
Little did he know, for I was as sure and ready as I had ever been in my life.
"36 3/4. And 36 3. Wait, what's the length? Wait a minute. We forgot to cut a hole for this. Hand me that tape measure. Psst, Mark. Put these on.
A lot of Tennessee walking horses are used just for trail riding, endurance riding, field trialing. Because of their docile nature, you can shoot off of a lot of Tennessee walking horses. They aren't startled by dogs, by birds, etc. So they're very popular on the field trial level. They're also very popular for older people who perhaps have back problems or can't take the jarring. Or even, really, I would say any age, but someone who maybe doesn't like to be jarred around on a horse that trots all day. Particularly if you're on a 3 or 4 hour trail ride, it's a lot more comfortable to be on something that's smooth and glides across the ground. And then I think also on another level you see Tennessee walking horses used in natural horsemanship circles with the Pat Pirelli program. They're very intelligent, they're quick learners, they're great partners for their owners, they're very social, as you can see. And there's a lot of uses for them other than the show ring.